Hello, this is Hector Del Castillo, and I want to welcome all of you to today's show where we're sharing the Welbi story. And if this is your first time, we actually have a webcast, but we're also streaming live, and you can join either way. And if you're on GoToWebinar and want to join and ask questions, because we are going to have a Q&A portion, that short URL is bit.ly/Welbi webcast, altogether, lowercase, and you should be able to join our webcast. Otherwise, you can also join via Facebook Live and in our stream, and you can look at our page, Welbi Vitality Monitor and Vital Sign Monitor, and that'll be on the Facebook page. You can actually find that information there as well on how to join our live stream. My name is Hector Del Castillo, and I'm Chief Technology Officer of vSense Medical Devices. I'm pleased to start today's episode and show where we're going to be focusing on sharing our story. And before we do that, we actually want to give special thanks to our partner, and Podcast Village is our great partner, Charlie Burney, who's actually Chief Podcasting Officer. We're actually, Jeff is live at his studio broadcast, and we're going to be focusing on answering the question, why Welbi? And we're going to be sharing from Jeff Nosonov, the CEO of vSense, his perspective about how he got the idea of starting the company and launching Welbi. And also, we'll be sharing some additional news about demos and pitches that we have been doing and will continue to do for the next few weeks, bring you up to speed. And then we're going to give you a chance to ask questions. So if you are on GoToWebinar, you can submit your questions using the questions box. And during the Q&A portion, we will be taking your questions live and get to as many of those as possible. And also, if you're on the live stream, you can submit your questions via the live stream, and we'll be also asking those questions because Charlie is actually monitoring the questions on the live stream so that we can actually get to them during the Q&A portion of the show. So let's get started. So why Welbi? Well, Welbi is a device that we are launching on Kickstarter, and you can find more information about what it is and what it does on our website, which is mywelbi.com. But if you are stressed about an aging relative who's mostly home alone, or you're stressed about your aging grandma or mother who's at home and you want to find her the care she needs, or you have a aging father and you're wanting to figure out how to help them before he needs the help he needs. This is why we launched Welbi, and Welbi is on Kickstarter. So for those of you who are Kickstarter followers, you can become pledgers, or you can actually pre-buy the device on our campaign. If you're not familiar with Kickstarter, it's a great way to fund projects that are worthwhile funding, and you can either make a pledge and be a backer, or you can actually pre-buy our solution, which is a device in combination with a mobile app. The short URL at the bottom of the slide guides you directly to our Kickstarter page, and you can find out more, and you can follow us on Kickstarter. I would encourage you to find out more. We have more details, videos, a complete description of how the device works. You can actually see that in our Kickstarter page. So without further ado, I actually want to introduce Jeff Nosonov, and we're getting into the portion of doing the interviews. And today's guest is Jeff Nosonov, who is our Chief Executive Officer, and he'll be giving some insights as to why he started the company and why Welbi. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Great, welcome, and it's great to see you. And even though we're virtual, it's great to see you, and would like to be able to at least begin you with one question, which is, how did you get the idea of starting the company?
Sure. Well, the idea came to me a while back when I was working for NASA. I was at the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab, and I had been working with this technology that can measure vital signs from a distance, from across the room or farther. And my job at the time was actually to start to think about how such a thing could be commercialized and whether there would be commercial applications either in medicine or in some other type of care scenario, for such a technology. I never really thought that I would be the one to actually start the company, but then some circumstances in my personal life, my wife's career caused us to move across the country, and I found myself having just spent the last year thinking about this and suddenly having the freedom to do it.
Great. And how did you get the idea about Welbi?
So throughout the last 10 years of my life, there have been several members of my family who have gone through different types of healthcare changes in their either early 70s to their mid 90s, and some of them. And the way that we had been sort of keeping track of them in our family was really not working very well. We would either call them every day, which in some cases just annoyed them because nobody wants to be reminded that they're older and have some health problems, or in my mother's case, she would drive across LA several times a week to check in personally, which is a huge use of time, not a waste of time, but a huge amount of time. And so when we started to think about the commercial applications for this NASA radar, we realized that we could build something that could, without requiring people to wear something or really do anything differently, nothing to hook up to their body, no wearable, we realized that we could deliver a monitoring solution to family members that were far away, either across the city or across the country. And that really struck a nerve with us, because this is something that everybody can relate to. Everybody either has or had older relatives, and one, they don't usually want to wear wearables or anything like that, and the traditional monitoring solutions are really not meant for the home, and they don't send information outside of the home either. So we realized there was a sweet spot for applying this technology in the home in this way. And it had been a goal of mine to become an entrepreneur for years, and this really was the chance, and it was a way to use a product, use a technology in a way that really helped people, and so that's the goal.
That's great. Now, let me ask you, so far, what kind of feedback have you been getting from the people that you've talked to about Welbi since we launched? And just to give you a little bit of an update to the audience, we actually launched the campaign last week. So can you tell us a little bit of feedback about what you've heard so far from prospective users? Sure.
So we have gotten a lot of excitement from pretty much every potential customer group we could imagine. This is really something that's resonating with people. And again, the ability to see how your relatives are doing anytime without having to have them do anything differently seems to be really appealing to people. And we knew personally it was valuable. And so it's very rewarding to see that outside of our little team. So that's been really encouraging and motivating. And talk about the Fast Company article that was just published last week. What has it meant to us Sure.
that we got this publication?
Sure. So it's sort of a dream come true to have created something that is so useful that the technology media considers it worthy of coverage. I've been reading that website and similar ones for 20 years, since the very early days of the internet, when mostly it was just reporting on itself. And so it was a great privilege to see myself in Fast Company and see us in Fast Company, and then on Reddit. To see people on Reddit debating our technology was pretty cool. And Dig. And then even in the Daily Mail, which I then looked up and saw is the 17th most traffic website in the world or something like that, but they didn't include the Kickstarter link. So we did still get a handful of pledges from the UK, but I can only wonder how many more we might have gotten had they done that. So I asked them fix the article, but I think the chance may be gone to get them. But still, it's very encouraging to see this taking off internationally as well.
Great, thanks. And what would you say to anyone that has an aging relative that right now they're struggling because they're looking at how to take care of them?
Sure. Well, in my personal experience, the main challenge for the caretaking relative is the emotional stress of knowing that you're responsible and knowing that most of the time you can't actually help them directly, but you still have to be available and on call and informed. And this kind of situation stretches for years or decades in some cases, and it can become a very time-consuming and challenging part of your life. And so we are very proud to create something that can help reduce that friction a little bit. Not just the emotional stress in the caretaker, but also the emotional stress on the relative who in a lot of cases feels just totally put upon by this constant attention, and for years on end is constantly reminded that they're in whatever medical situation that they're in. So I think we're helping address a number of different challenges here.
Yes, and I agree. And actually, I want to thank you for this great talk, Jeff. Stay with us because we are going to be going through the Q&A together. And
Sure.
I just want to go into the next section, which is a little bit about the updates that I have on what we've been doing.
Great.
Many of you know that we have been doing demos and pitches. And one of the things that I've been doing is basically showing the device, which I have right here. And I'm showing it right now on my camera. And the device itself is handheld. And as you can see what it looks like, this is what it looks like front and back. And if you want to see a 360 view of the device itself, there's a much better picture on the Fast Company article, and we'll be sending out the short URL to that Fast Company article so you can see what it looks like. It's really captivating what we've been able to do with the design of this. And this is just the beginning because this is our third iteration, and we've done a lot of work in making it smaller, lighter, and also low power at the same time that we can make it more affordable to the consumers. And on the Kickstarter page, you can actually pre-buy the device. That is the highest level of support that you can provide us. And the reason for that is because our mission is to put this device in the hands of caring families who want to track the well-being of aging relatives without prying, and be able to maintain the confidence of their relatives because they don't feel like they're being disrupted in their lives, and also gives the families who care deeply about these relatives peace of mind. And that is really our mission and the reason why we launched the Kickstarter campaign. We actually have been doing lots of demos, and I'm actually in Texas today. I'm actually broadcasting from my parents' home in El Paso because yesterday I actually was at Austin doing a demo, and we have captured information on that we're going to be sharing with everyone via email as a follow-up to the show. But in essence, the feedback that I got has been tremendous. The last few weeks that I've been traveling around the U.S. doing demos of the prototype that we have, we've gotten tremendous feedback about how people have this need and how they never really knew that this technology or this solution existed, because today most everybody is very familiar with wearables, and they're not familiar with a technology like this that is really a non-wearable technology. And if you look at what Fast Company is saying about it, is that this is a disruptive product, because when everybody right now is mostly purchasing wearables, we are a non-wearable technology, and this is exactly what we need for this particular portion of the population, the aging seniors. Because most of them today, if you have ever tried to get them a wearable device, they don't like it, they don't want to use it, and they don't see the benefits of it. And so it really may be a case where you buy it for them, you even train them on how to use it, and they might be wearing it for 1 or 2 days, and then they stop. And then the data collection stops. This particular solution allows you to collect information as anytime that a person is within proximity of the device, and it automatically collects the information, captures it, and then delivers it to you via your favorite mobile device. That's really the intent of the solution, and the reason why we put this on Kickstarter. And without getting into more questions, I actually want to encourage you to submit your questions. And I don't know if you have been streaming your questions, but if you are on the live stream, you can actually stream your questions. If you are on GoToWebinar, you can actually type in questions using the questions box, and we'll be taking those during Q&A. And we're going to use the rest of the show to actually deal with questions that we see on the questions box, as well as on the live stream. So feel free to do that as we are getting into Q&A portion.
Yeah, and Charlie, you know, you and I have talked about this need in the past. I'd love to get your thoughts on your family and how this can help them too.
Well, in my case, it's become a little more urgent since even you and I first met 3 or 4 years ago, I think. My father is now 89, about to be 90, and his heart rate is very spotty, and he has these tiny little strokes that are kind of undiagnosable. Unless you have a stroke in the stroke unit, these are so small that they can't really find the footprint. I'm not a doctor, obviously. So just the idea of having one layer of simple monitoring, and everything you guys were saying in earlier excuse me, was exactly true. He's not going to wear anything. There's no way. He's going to wear the same watch he's worn for the last 45 years. He's not, because he's not even wearing a hearing aid because he doesn't want to. But if I can put this in the middle on his bureau behind one of his photographs, then I think I've made a huge stride in helping him be comfortable, or perhaps anticipating fluctuations, or even actually knowing when one of these incidents occurs. A friend of mine just had a stroke and ended up with a pacemaker installed that weekend. So I wonder how many things could be the curing, I'm not saying the words right, the getting medical treatment on a timely basis could be advanced by using this product. So that's sort of the truncated version of my story. I'm very anxious to get it. My mom's 87 or 88 now, and I think I can't imagine, you know, how simple and how easy this would be. They don't even have to think about it. And you or Hector said, you know, they get cranky and they don't want to do this stuff. They don't want to talk about their health. That is absolutely true. I mean, that is one of the truest things. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to complain anymore. They're in pain, and they're not going to discuss it. But we need to be able to give some data to our doctors. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Charlie.
Charlie, we have a prompt up here.
Oh.
Do we want to share something?
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I would like to do as we are getting into questions. Here's some demos that are coming up later this month, and actually we'll be in Prince George's County at National Harbor next Wednesday. And if you're nearby, you're more welcome to come in and see the working device that we have, because we are actually doing show and tells at these particular demos. And also, they're free to attend. So if you want to register, you can just click through this link, and we'll be sharing this entire slide deck on the landing page. So we're going to be sending you and providing an update where you can find this information online through Kickstarter page. So if you follow us on our Kickstarter page, or you are already opted into our email, so you'll be receiving information about these particular demos that are coming up. One thing that we would like to announce is that at the Prince George's one, we're going to be doing live streaming, and if you are already on GoToWebinar, if you tune in at that time, which is between 8 and 9:30 a.m., and we're going to provide you more information exactly at what time we'll be doing our demo, you can actually use the same credentials as the GoToWebinar to actually be able to attend that live stream that we're going to be doing over GoToWebinar. I'm also looking at other venues that we can actually do live streaming through Facebook or Kickstarter, and stand by for additional news on that. But these are the demos that we're doing live, and you can either attend them live, or we're also going to be streaming them, and then we'll be sharing any videos that we record from those. Also, if you are on Kickstarter, you can follow us on Kickstarter using this particular short URL, which is kck.samttom/2Victor. Victor is lowercase, then capital Z1, Z as in zebra, 1, C as in Charlie, R Ray, K as in Katie. Also, you can also follow us on our website, iwelbi.com. And we would like also your support, either as a backer or if you have an aging relative for which you want to deploy this particular device at their home, you can actually buy it, pre-buy it on our Kickstarter page, and you can go to our Kickstarter page and contribute to our mission. So without further ado, I'd like to get into questions, and I wasn't really sure if we have any questions on the lives box, but I do have a question in the from one of the attendees on GoToWebinar, and the question is, what do I need to do to place this device at a relative's home? And that's a great question, because our device, it will be
Why don't I answer it? Then the two streams that are recording from right here will also pick it up in addition to the GoToMeeting. So the question was, how do you actually set up the device in the home? How do you use it? And it really could not be made any simpler. You plug it into the wall and it turns on, and you use the mobile app that you can download for free to configure the device to go on your Wi-Fi, and that's about it. It really works the same as any other home Wi-Fi connected device today, whether it's a webcam or anything like that. And then you really just have to ask your relative to just not move it. Don't touch it. Just ignore it. And that's it.
Yep, it really is that simple. So thank you very much for that question. The other question that we have is regarding security of the information that's being collected. How secure is it?
Sure. So the security is as secure as bank login information. It's fully encrypted, like a secure browser connection, and our cloud platform that actually is distributing the information to your mobile app is likewise secured with the industry standard technologies, and will be maintained as such as that goes forward. Great.
Yeah, and I wanna kind of add to that as the response is basically we're doing encryption. We're also doing the actual anonymization of data. So when data is being distributed from your device, from the cloud to your device, vice versa, it's going to be encrypted, but also there's not going to be any private information that is to whose information does that belong to. And that's anonymization. And we're going to be keeping the control and data planes separate in the device, the way that it talks to our infrastructure and applications over the cloud. So that's really, in essence, what we're doing, and it's proven to be very effective in actually making sure that your data remains safe and secure as you continue to collect information, and then you, as the user, can actually dictate or determine who are you sharing the information with, whether it's a practitioner or another family member or anyone else that is involved in caring for an aging relative. And I wanted to ask Jeff on your side. Do you see? Are there any questions on the live stream? I wasn't really sure if there's any questions there.
No, not right now. But I have the link up to the GoToMeeting, so I think they'll show up there.
Okay, perfect. All right. So then one of the things that I wanted to do is also invite those of you who want to learn more about what we're doing, continue to attend our shows. Those of you who are on the live stream, and maybe Jeff, you can actually repeat this information, invite them to join our future shows, because you sign up once and then you can actually get invitations automatically of all the future shows that are already scheduled. And here are the ones that are coming up. They're Tuesday, September 19th, and then Thursday, September 21st, same time, same channel, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And Jeff, can you share that with the people on the live stream?
Yes. Can you type that into the chat box so it shows up on my screen here so I can repeat it?
Yes. So the next one is Tuesday, September 19th.
Okay, so the next show is on Tuesday, September 19th.
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
And after that is Thursday, September 21st.
The next one is Thursday, September 21st.
Same time, same channel, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Eastern.
And the short URL is bit.ly/Welbi webcasts.
Yeah, bit.ly/Welbi webcast. And I have that pinned in each of these streams.
Perfect. And I don't see any more questions, so I just want to make sure that we can wrap up. And I want to thank all of you for being here. And Jeff, you can thank also the people on the live stream as well.
On social. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, and you're welcome to join us again, same time, same channel, next Tuesday, same time. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.